1, 2, is this on?
And now, coming to you live on NewAgeInsiders.com.
We are the premier place for wrestling fans to connect, discuss, and to be heard.
Please welcome Jason Maltoff.
We watch wrestling to enjoy. If you're not enjoying it, why are you watching?
Liam Stryker.
If I told you once, I told you 1,000 times. Storytelling, storytelling, storytelling.
And Bill Neville.
Unpredictability is the answer. When wrestling's unpredictable, it's at its best.
Get ready.
This is Warbeard Hansen.
This is Johnny Mundo.
This is Jonathan Dijak.
Say hello to the bad guy, Scott Hall.
This is Mean Gene Okerlund.
This is Zack Ryder.
Hey, this is Cody Rhodes.
Hi, this is Howard Finkel.
Hi, this is good old JR Jim Ross. I'm Bill Goldberg, and the New Age Insiders are next.
I believe your parents said it the best when you were a child.
I'll say it again.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Elimination Chamber was very good.
Mm-hmm.
That match at the end was very good.
Mm-hmm.
The issue that I have is the same issue that keeps plaguing all of these Roman Reigns matches. And that is, he's not overcoming. He's
No selling.
He's video game easy, just winning. Where the guy beats him up for 45 minutes and then starts to no-sell in like a more obnoxious Hulk Hogan, Hulkamania, hulking up kind of way.
Because it's not 1988?
Because it's not 1988, and then wins. And the issue that I have with this particular win is that as a ticket holder for my 4th straight WrestleMania, I need a break. I need a break because I've walked into every single WrestleMania that I've attended having everybody hate the main event. And it's awful because he's not even in the title match in one of them, but it's going on last and everybody hates it. And WWE, this is a plea to you. I need you to understand that we get it. He's a part of the plan. And I'm not asking... He is the plan. He's the plan, right? I get it. But force-feeding this down everybody's throat is going to turn people away. And you've built up so much goodwill with everybody, that just take this guy off of this spot for 1 year. 1 year is all I'm asking.
So, to expound on that, and the lines are open, 508-202-1624. We're talking all things Elimination Chamber with you. Ronda Rousey, the women's match, which was excellent. The tag match, Nia Jax versus Asuka, which was also very good. The men, of course, the road to WrestleMania ahead of us. Anything from Raw and the Elimination Chamber is on the table, and we're taking your calls at 508-202-1624, 508-202-1NAI. So it kind of allowed me to expound on that, I guess, because you and I have been to the same amount of WrestleManias and the same WrestleManias. When I was a kid, this show, WrestleMania, was the one guarantee that if you fell into the vocal, well, I'll have to use that word, I guess, majority, that you were going to go home happy. Hulk Hogan, now again, I understand that there's buts to this. Hulk Hogan sent you home happy a bunch of times. One time he didn't. You didn't want him to steal
9.
Brett's thunder. Agreed. But most of the time, Hulk Hogan sent you home happy. Then Shawn Michaels sent you home happy. Then Steve Austin sent you home happy. Then, The Rock sent you home happy. For the beginning, John Cena did. And then I understand that that's where the parallels have to start, because then John Cena did main event a bunch of WrestleManias that, to be fair to Roman Reigns, didn't send people home happy. But the difference here is this, and I think it needs to really be touched upon, is at the time that John Cena was rocket shipping, it was the Chris Benoit damage control, right? So we had to rocket ship him because he was the face of the rebranding of the family-friendly, please don't think about us when you think about Chris Benoit, WWE, right? So we had to kind of put our fingers in our ears through from 2007 to 2010-ish and just go, la, 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 I don't care, la, 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 right? Okay, fine. But then what happened, the other side of it was, when you got sick of John Cena right around that Rock period, I know you wanted CM Punk. Okay, gotcha. But CM Punk around 2011 was the first guy that actually emerged as somebody they might be able to sell even close to as well as they were going to sell, as they had been selling John Cena. But the point is that I don't think there was a ton. I don't think in 2011 and 2012 they were very talented. The roster.
No.
So when it's John Cena, it's like, look, yep, are there guys we could use here, but they're nowhere close to John.
Right.
Right? And now, with Roman Reigns being a member of a roster, with Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, Braun Strowman, this feels like, okay, like you said, don't shelve him. I told you I would have him win the tag team titles.
Right.
So he still wins something with a guy you like.
Miz is going to be having a baby.
Yeah.
Have him win the Intercontinental title and defend it at WrestleMania.
Something like that. This was the year that it felt to me that we have the roster, so you can't throw that in my face, Vince, about why it's Roman Reigns. And this company has already gotten on its feet with its new identity. And part of helping establish that new identity, quite frankly, would be if Finn Balor was in this match. That's the guy I keep going back to over and over again in my head. Because there are actual wrestling reasons why Braun Strowman shouldn't be the one to beat Brock Lesnar. There are real wrestling reasons behind that. But there are no goddamn good reasons why Finn Balor shouldn't be in the Raw main event.
And the worst part about all of this, right, is that WWE, at the end of that show, you showed me that you understand what's happening, which makes this even more infuriating.
You booked the Royal Rumble a certain way because you knew it would help Nakamura's pop.
Right.
Because he threw out this
guy.
And
you built this match a certain way because you knew it would keep up the drama. And then he wins, right? Which is, you don't get it. But then you understand what's happening because Braun Strowman immediately gets up and destroys Roman Reigns. And the show ends with Roman Reigns lying in a heap in front of the WrestleMania sign. That's not good enough because you've told me that you understand in that moment.
Yep.
Because
here's
Braun Strowman destroying Roman Reigns makes everybody go home happy.
Here's the thing about Roman Reigns, right? And we're going to talk about all things change right now. We already have a call, and we're going to open it up. Because I promise, sometimes it might feel like it, but we don't use these airwaves to bury Roman Reigns. You're never going to listen to a New Age Insider show where we tell you the guy's an untalented loser, go away forever, or fire the guy. Never, ever, ever, ever. But the reality that people need to now start seeing, even if you're a huge, giant Roman Reigns fan, which is fine. If this is your dude, then that's your dude. My dude's Goldberg.
That's fine.
That came with controversy, too.
Better analogy. My guy's Triple H.
Yeah.
All right? Everybody talks about how Triple H buries all of these young talent and is consistently putting himself over.
Everybody thought my guy sucked.
Right. But Triple H, with all of his power, all of his clout, and all of the reputation, never main evented 4 straight WrestleManias.
Yep.
Never.
And so here's the point. I'm going to open it up to the call and just start rolling with them at 508-202-1624. What you got to understand, Roman Reigns fans, from our perspective, from people that are less than pleased with the Roman Reigns experience, is he is all the infuriating parts of Hogan and Cena, the no selling, the constant winning on the big stage. And people are going to start tweeting me things that show that, actually Roman only won like 47% of his televised. Doesn't matter. When it's go time, he wins them all.
Right.
He does.
Right. He lost everything leading up to this match.
And is still somehow the number one contender, even though we have spent a lot of time and energy making 3 other people look better than him.
Yeah.
Strowman, Rollins, and Finn Balor. And so
even the Drifter.
So and we'll get to the call. The infuriating parts of Cena were no selling, winning every big match, and never giving somebody else their year.
Yeah.
Right? And he, at the same time, though, and I'm going to say it because I'm entitled to my opinion too, at least Hulk Hogan and John Cena were all-time charismatic.
Yeah.
At least Hulk Hogan embodied the 80s. At least John Cena got over on his own, not in a group, on his own. And then it never stopped being consistently top guy on the mic. I hate that expression because everybody's using it now. On the mic. But at least John Cena, it's like, look, are the matches templated? 110%. That's something that he, Hogan, and Reigns all share. Throw the blame on all of them. Templated matches and finishes. But at least Hulk Hogan was the most charismatic man in America. And at least John Cena could host the Academy Awards.
Yeah, because he connects.
He's so goddamn charismatic. And Roman Reigns doesn't embody all the things you traditionally want from a top guy, and does embody all the things that infuriate you about a traditional World Wrestling Entertainment #1 dude. And that's where we are today, because this just felt like somebody else's year.
Yeah.
But hey, that's just our opinion. What's yours? 508-202-1NAI. Bill, who we got?
Brandon in Chicago gave us a call. What's up, Brandon?
Hey guys, first of all, let's start from the beginning with the positive. The women's match, the women's Elimination Chamber, I personally thought it was great. I actually liked it much more than the women's Rumble. I thought the women's Rumble, and I put this in the Patreon chat, and you guys saw it, and I thought the women's Rumble didn't live up to my expectations. I thought the women's chamber match surpassed my expectations. I thought it was amazing, just everything about it. The pay-per-view overall was great. The Roman thing, that's it. I don't even think I'm mad that Roman won necessarily. It's how the match took place, like you guys just mentioned, and you could see the writing on the wall during the match where it was WWE booking. Braun eliminates every single person, so you knew he wasn't going to win.
Right.
And as I said in the Patreon chat, I thought maybe, lately they haven't been doing traditional WWE booking, so I thought, okay, maybe we get our way this time. And then Roman wins, and the fact that it went kind of back to WWE traditional booking upset me. What I think really upsets me is now is the time for Braun. They're gonna. He's never gonna be over more now.
Yep.
He's not gonna get more over. He can only go down from here.
Brandon.
I mean, it might be a while.
Brandon, first of all, thank you for being a Patreon. We, honest to God, love talking to you. And you're so right. This, to me, isn't, from my experience, it's not about Roman Reigns winning. It's about Finn Balor and or Braun Strowman not winning. That's my problem. Brandon, thanks so much for giving us a call, bud. We're going to power through them. You can be a Patreon like Brandon, too. Patreon.com/NewAgeInsiders.
And I do want to touch on the women's Rumble comment that he made at the top of that call, where I agree. And the reason I agree is because in a Royal Rumble situation, there's a lot of variance in talent, right? You have the top of your roster and the bottom of your roster all in one match.
And a lot of rest time. This Elimination Chamber, you put, in theory, the 6 best women that you had all in this match, and they went at it, right? And so it was a more concise experience, and that's why it felt better, because I do think so. I think that this first match was better than the Royal Rumble first match. I agree with that. The weird thing that stuck out to me about the women's Royal Rumble was that, I just feel like at one point, 8 to 10 women were always on the outside but not eliminated,
right?
And it was just a weird way to do your rest. I know, it was weird. The guys do the 3-men struggle to put you over, and everybody's just hanging out,
right?
Or the bottom rope thing for the heels. But the women straight up went outside the ring.
Yeah, people got knocked out of the ring.
And it was, you may not have seen it at home, but there was times where there was 7 or 8 people outside the ring just chilling.
And it was tough as a live being there in attendance without commentary to know who was actually still in and out.
Right. Yeah.
I agree with Brandon's point completely. The chamber was not only better than the Rumble, it was great on its own.
Right.
And
it was.
as good as what the men did, they just kind of told different stories.
Right.
But I thought everybody showed up. One day, maybe it'll be a Patreon show, patreon.com/NewAgeInsiders. But people got to get over this whole Sasha Banks thing, everybody. The best performer in the match won tonight. Sasha Banks is great. I like Sasha Banks.
Yes.
I like her a lot. We like her for all sorts of reasons. But
Alexa Bliss is the champion of that division.
People's reaction on the internet, Sasha Banks fans, I'll say it, Sasha Banks fans are drifting dangerously into CM Punk territory.
Or Roman Reigns fan territory.
Where if this chick doesn't win, it's an abomination, a disgrace. It must be because she's black. It must be because she's not blonde. It must be because Vince McMahon is stupid. The best performer in the match won the match. At least tonight, the person that had the best performance won the match. The champion should have retained. We did a lot. Sasha Banks got to be the last person standing, so she got super duper protected. Open your eyes a little bit to how wrestling works. Not everybody wins 100% of the time. When they do, you hate that too. And so my point is just like to hardcore Banks fans out there, relax. If she doesn't win everything in the world, she's a babyface in the WWE. She's going to lose all the time, so her wins feel big. That's how this company works, and it's also not an abomination if she's in a match and doesn't come out on top, especially when you just bury a performance like Alexa Bliss put on. And I'm a Bayley guy.
And so now just moving on to something a little bit different, in the Twitter chat, Justin made a comment that Austin 316 was born in 1996. In 1997, Austin put on one of the greatest matches in WWE history with Bret Hart. He didn't win his first belt until 1998. Strowman will win his belt one day.
Yeah,
and you're right. And this isn't the difference with that is, imagine that we did all of the stuff in 1998 leading up to that WrestleMania, and then The Rock got Michaels. You know what I mean? That's what we're saying. We're not saying that Braun Strowman is a failure because he isn't Universal Champion. It's that we spent this entire year having this guy flip over semi-trucks, ambulances, set pieces, tearing down parts of the Raw set.
And still, the real answer is actually still Finn Balor, despite all of that. Reigns should actually be third in line. That's what frustrates me. Just give me a break.
Right, and that's the point that we're making, is that it's not that Braun... This is my issue with WWE in general, and it even goes to where we're talking about Bray Wyatt versus Matt Hardy. Bray Wyatt needed to win that match tonight.
How did he lose?
Bray Wyatt needed to win that match because they don't know how to tell a story.
How did he not get over on Woken Matt Hardy, who's not even good? 508-202-1624. 508-202-1624. And by the way, it might sound glum. I really liked the pay-per-view. It's just these the things that stick with you when they're at the end. Who do we got?
Let's circle back to the women for a second. Mike in Massachusetts wants to talk about the women.
I know exactly who this is.
What's up, Mike?
Hey, guys.
What's going on, dude?
Are you a host of a show on New Age Insiders Pop?
I do a couple of, actually on this network, a great show, that movie show on New Age Pop. You should all follow it. You should all listen. It drops on Monday on the audio feed, so you should all definitely take a listen.
Oh, tomorrow's Monday. What movie are you talking about?
I believe we're going to be talking about the fantastic, should have been at least nominated, if not won, the Academy Award for 2012's Movie of the Year. Here Comes the Boom is what we're talking about.
I am
tomorrow.
not prepared to talk about Kevin James right now, Mike. What did you think about the women's match? Ronda Rousey, what'd you call for?
First of all, I enjoyed the show. Okay, I enjoyed the show. Anybody who knows me knows I'm actually a Roman Reigns fan, but I'm also going to say it was the wrong story to tell, and the men's division is a whole other story altogether. But what I was impressed with the women tonight. Both women's matches really stood out as the spotlight of the show. I felt that they did the right thing with Alexa Bliss, not only putting her in last, but also she didn't win in a sneaky, heelish type of way. She actually proved herself as a champion, therefore going on to WrestleMania against Asuka as a competitor, not as I need like four people behind me, doing shenanigans to get me to the WrestleMania.
Right.
Correct.
I expect Asuka to beat her, but Mike, you're totally right that if Asuka winds up going after Bliss, which is not a guarantee, by the way, I think there's a real good chance that Asuka goes after Charlotte. But if she...
even though, I mean, again, I agree 100%. Asuka at WrestleMania, that's the story that's going to be told. Asuka is going to become champion, but they need to make the champion at least a credible champion. And at this moment, on this day, on February 25th, that's the champion that they have, and that's the champion that they're telling the story of. However, in the Asuka Nia Jax match, of course, you're putting Asuka against the hurdle, if you will, of Nia Jax. However, even though she won, there's still, as Alexa Bliss said in a promo, 6 weeks till WrestleMania. So the finish to that match is also going to tell a story for the next few weeks, with Nia Jax putting her through the barricade, et cetera, et cetera. Yep. I think the women are the standout of this entire show.
I think you're totally right, Mike. And we're going to power through. We're going to take as many calls as we can. But, Mike, that movie show, it's awesome. Kevin James is not, but I'll still be listening to the show, and we look forward to it. All right, 508-202-1624. Let's talk about the women. Let's shift gears. Talk about the women.
I loved everything that the women did tonight.
Totally agree. Even Rousey found it.
Well, that was the thing.
The segment was weird, but she found it.
The segment was weird, but in retrospect, the beginning makes up for the end, right? Because again,
the end makes up for the beginning.
Yeah, that's what I meant. The end makes up for the beginning, because in the beginning she was like, "Oh my god, I'm so happy to be here," and we're sitting here being like,
"Is she fucking crying?
Is she crying? What the hell's happening? This isn't the Ronda Rousey we expected." But then when Kurt drops that bomb of like, "Oh, it's taken us 3 years, but now we own her," she flips the switch, and it was like, "Oh, you are actually good at this. That's great." Because now you went from this doe-eyed, like, "Oh, I'm so happy to be here. Yay, this is going to be so much fun," to like, "What you say, bitch?"
So here's the thing about the Ronda Rousey segment. We could definitely start there before we talk about the actual women's matches, because Ronda Rousey was a big deal. So first of all, Ryan Satin, if this audio ever finds its way to you,
it'll be on his website uncredited.
Right, yeah, exactly. Thanks for using our stuff and not posting that you used our stuff.
And then making us the bad
guys?
And
then DMing me
and
telling me that, yeah, you're the victim. What a culture. But Ryan Satin goes, "We're wasting Ronda Rousey's first match because no one sat around and was clamoring for this." So first of all, Ryan, and I do hope this audio finds your way, because I do think you need a reality check. She is working with two all-time performers and the boss.
Right.
Not Sasha Banks. Stephanie McMahon.
Yes, right.
And you're going to use the word waste? Dude.
At WrestleMania. She's going to work with Triple H.
Two all-timers.
All-timer. And then either Kurt Angle or The Rock.
Kurt Angle. It's clearly Kurt Angle. The Rock, if I can't stress this enough, WrestleMania's in 6 weeks.
Right.
If The Rock was part of it, we would know by now. Whether it be from Vince or whether it be from TMZ, I promise you we would know.
Yeah, I'm still not convinced, just because
Kurt Angle did everything he had to do to get himself into that match tonight. In kayfabe, Hunter should be furious at him.
Right.
To the point where they have to wrestle about it.
Right. Oh, no, you are correct.
It's Angle.
I'm still not... I think everybody said that what they want is The Rock. Now, whether The Rock can do it or not, that's up for debate. Yeah. And I think that's what... that shoe is what they're waiting for to drop, because I think Kurt Angle's a great replacement, but I don't think The Rock is off the table.
I do, but we'll see. But the biggest point is, like, I don't care who she works with. She's working with Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. I don't care if she works with James Ellsworth. You're you're so looking, Ryan, to make a hot take and push the button, and Chris Jericho got up your ass so bad that you can't get over it. And now you just say things that I can't even believe you think are true.
Yeah.
Just to get people talking. If you think Ronda Rousey is being wasted
in her first match,
and then the second thing I replied to on Twitter, because I'll say it to your face, is hopefully you're hearing this. Then he said everybody wanted Rousey versus Charlotte more. So let me just respond to that before we open it up and the calls and all that stuff. Yeah, of course we want to see Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte. But guess what, Ryan? She also signed a multi-year deal, not a one-off. So her Mania match at 34 is not the only thing she's going to do in this company. And here's the biggest thing, Ryan. This is her first professional wrestling match. It's at flippin' WrestleMania. Yeah. And you want her to go one-on-one with one of the best,
greatest?
with one of the best they have right now, so she could be upstaged, embarrassed, not keep up? Or do you want the other thing you'll bitch about, Ryan, which is for her to break Charlotte's arm in 14 seconds because we need to protect her somehow, and you hate that because now we just buried Charlotte Flair, and somehow you'll make it about feminism, even though Ronda Rousey's a girl. And so this match is perfect for her because it's Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle will get her through it. Triple H will get her through it. Stephanie McMahon will even help her get it through it. She can look great by tapping out Stephanie.
Everybody in this match, except for Ronda Rousey, is a former world champion in WWE.
And Stephanie McMahon's a former women's champion for
right,
whatever the hell that's
that's
worth.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, right.
Everybody.
Right.
Literally everybody in that match.
Exactly. And so it's like, Ryan, she's protected by the fact that she's in a tag environment in her flippin' debut in front of 60,000 people. And we'll get there. But yeah, maybe nobody sat down on a piece of paper and went, my ultimate Ronda Rousey match is her and Kurt Angle versus Triple H and Stephanie. But you're going to use the word waste when she's working with Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and then you're going to tell me that because we're not doing Charlotte in her debut, a match that quite frankly she hasn't earned.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the other thing, Ryan.
She even said she didn't earn it in the promo.
And that's the other thing, Ryan. If Ronda Rousey got Charlotte and beat her, you'd find a way to bitch that Charlotte put all in this work for the women's revolution, and Ronda Rousey came in and took it from her undeservedly. You're just looking to bitch, and it's getting old. 508-202-1624. 508-202-1624. Who we got?
We have Josh in the UK gave us a call. What's up, Josh?
Hi, what's going on, guys?
What's going on, Josh? Great to hear from you, man. Thanks for staying up.
No worries. Before I talk about what I talk about, I want to say I agree with you. Ryan Satin is the worst Twitter account you could follow or you could see on Twitter. The guy's a joke. But what I did want to talk about was, I don't know if you've seen, on a Raw Talk, Cena came on and kept stressing he didn't have a WrestleMania match.
Yep, I did
and
see
he
that.
said something I thought was very on John Cena. He said, maybe I'm going to have to use some tactics I wouldn't normally use to get my match.
Spooky tactics.
And as much as I hated to see it, will this be a match against The Undertaker?
Yes.
Yeah, they're doing it.
Yeah.
The Undertaker, because of his wife, is on social media now because she sneaks on his accounts and stuff.
Well, no,
because
she has her own, but she sneaks him on her.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He sneaks on social media because she takes videos of him and puts it on hers.
Yeah.
And he's training. Here's the thing, Josh. Right, I'm so torn on this because I do not want The Undertaker to wrestle, but I got to understand, Josh, why this all-time guy doesn't want that match last year to be his last one.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
I get it. But at the same time, this is, and I don't want to become a snake eating its tail, but this is why it was over at Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And every single thing we've done since Brock Lesnar, no matter how much fun you had in bits and pieces and how cool that Survivor Series entrance was when we put the Titantron in a casket, everything we've done since Brock Lesnar, we shouldn't have done at all. And it's stuff like this. Because now what's John Cena going to do? Beat him for a third time? I'm telling you, if John Cena pins The Undertaker at WrestleMania and he's now lost 3 of them, you have now taken something away from the entire thing. Because it's getting harder and harder to remember 20-0. You're 21-0.
Well, and more importantly, why are we still trotting this old man out?
Right. He can't do it anymore.
Right. With every loss at WrestleMania, why are we trotting this old man? It's not The Undertaker anymore.
And then what? And then what do we do? And what if he retires John Cena? Because John Cena beats him, right? So, like I said, now he's got 3 WrestleMania losses.
And he took away the lockbox.
Exactly. And
I'm never gonna forgive him for that.
And now he's not going to beat John Cena right to get back on the board. You know what I mean? Because there's a real good chance this is a retirement match. And it's just, like I said, everything after Brock we shouldn't have done. Everything.
All of it.
Every
Should've been
single
over.
thing. Josh, thanks so much for giving a call. What was your final grade for the pay-per-view? What was your kind of final impression, final grade for Elimination Chamber?
Women's match, great. Undercard was okay, but then the men's match, Roman does leave a bit of taste in your mouth. So C+.
Okay.
Amazing how it works, isn't
generous.
Well, but Josh is right though. Josh is, and thanks so much for giving us a call, Josh. He's right though. The last thing you see sticks with you most.
Right,
absolutely,
and that's the problem because that match was actually
very good.
That was an A match.
The whole pay-per-view was.
The whole pay-per-view was
But
very Roman Reigns winning that dropped that down 2 letter grades.
508-202-1624. 508-202-1NAI. Oscar versus Nia Jax I thought was very
beautiful.
good.
That was
very
so good. That was easily the best singles match because it had to compete with Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
But that was great. Nia Jax looks amazing, and
I like her.
It's tough because
I like her.
I do too, and it's tough because her and Braun Strowman are starting to get in the same boat, where it's like, look, you kind of want to mentally put them in the box of, well, they're like the Big Show and Andre the Giant, and they don't need to win the title all that often to still be dominant. But it's like, look at how Mark Henry and the Big Show were treated towards the end, right?
Yep.
They seemed like jokes. We're going to be tough outs, and they both deserve better.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not telling you.
Kane didn't win many world titles for this company at all.
Right, and they're just tough outs, and that's tough to swallow. And Nia Jax has gotten so much better since she debuted a couple of years ago.
Yeah, the thing about like being bigger than the belt is not an invalid argument to make. Andre the Giant is not technically, I think, a recognized champion, or if he is, he sold it immediately to DiBiase. There's no footage of that guy defending the World Wrestling Federation Championship. He literally never did it. And so I understand that, but you also got to understand that when it comes to that, you're talking about a guy who was Andre the Giant, a guy that would have looked impressively big next to even the Big Show.
Right.
He is freakishly massive.
Right.
And that guy was above the belt because also you got to understand, in the time of Andre the Giant, which is the comparison people make over and over again, is you're talking about the era of Bruno Sammartino being the champion for 8 years.
Right.
That there was a good solid chance that Hulk Hogan might be the champion for 2 straight years. If we want him to be, we can do it. And so there were very few title changes in general.
Yeah, because Raw didn't exist.
Right, Roddy Piper never held the world title because we didn't change hands that often.
Well, and it's also because you didn't have weekly programming.
Exactly, right.
And so
you saw Hogan like once every 3 months.
You saw, right, exactly. You saw him once every 3 months or once every month.
Yep.
And that was it. And so the same thing with Andre the Giant. You saw him once a month. So you didn't need to see him every week because he wasn't doing things every week. The reason why Braun Strowman can't be bigger than the title is because I watched him flip over a set last week.
Well, to me, it's even simpler than that. If Brock Lesnar at this phase of his career isn't above the title, then you can't tell me that Braun Strowman just starting out is above the title.
Yes,
that's crazy.
You're right.
Brock Lesnar's not. And I'm not talking about 2002.
If John Cena's not.
Right, but like right now, the world we live in today, doing this show, they felt the need to cement the Brock thing with a belt.
Yeah, right.
Twice since his return. So, no, Braun Strowman's not above Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar's not above the belt. Therefore, Braun Strowman is not above the belt. 508-202-1624. 508-202-1-NAI.
Rob in North Carolina gave us a call. What's going on, Rob?
Yay, Rob.
Gentlemen. Okay. So in the Discord chat, something set me off, and I got quiet. So somebody, don't remember who it was, said that the Roman Reigns headlining 4 WrestleManias is the same thing as Hulk Hogan headlining. Well, I'm sorry, but Hulk Hogan headlined 3 WrestleManias in a row, but he did it because he was over. He was part of the WrestleMania 4 main event. He was not in the match, but he was there. But he was there because he was over. And people cheered and were happy to see him. He headlined 5 and 6 because people wanted to see him, and it was a big deal. The first WrestleMania he wasn't a part of was WrestleMania 10. So yeah, Hogan he was headlining all these WrestleManias because the fans wanted to see Hulk Hogan. The fans are sick and tired of seeing Roman Reigns headlining WrestleMania. If Roman Reigns was getting the reaction of Hulk Hogan, this conversation would not be happening. But he's not.
Agreed.
And the fact that you build out Braun Strowman and you give him all these awesome moments, all like for the last 10 months, all these amazing moments. You guys were just talking about it, and then you shit on it. Just you let him beat 5 guys in an Elimination Chamber, 5 established superstars. You beat them, and then you give that moment to Reigns because you had it written in concrete that he had to fight Brock Lesnar this year. This is garbage. I was on the verge of buying WrestleMania tickets this year, and if they don't change direction, and I really don't want people to lose their jobs. I don't want people to get suspended, but I really hope this steroid thing has some teeth to it, and we don't get to see Roman Reigns headline another WrestleMania, and they can course correct this and give Braun that match against Brock, because that's the match people want to see. They don't want to see Roman Reigns anymore.
Rob, we love you. We're going to fire through these calls, and we're going to talk about everything you just talked about.
Guys.
Thank you so much for being a Patreon. We love you. You're the best. So let's talk about that, because like I said earlier,
they are not the same.
Right.
Hulk Hogan and Roman Reigns are not the same.
Right.
They are not the same in any way, shape, or form.
But you
know how I know that? I know that because you couldn't escape anything Hulk Hogan from 1980 to 1998. You couldn't escape Hulk Hogan stuff. And the only time that people got sick of Hulk Hogan was in WCW when they did the coalition to end Hulkamania, where it was him and Savage versus like Flair, like the Dungeon of Doom. They brought back Z Gangsta.
And he won anyway.
And he won, which was Zeus, and
Right.
he won all of it, right? So you're talking about a decade and a half where this man was everywhere.
Yep.
Roman Reigns doesn't have the support of wrestling fans,
Yep.
let alone any sort of mainstream popularity at all. I know more people that know who Braun Strowman is because they see the GIFs and the highlights of Braun Strowman flipping like ambulances over and body slamming people through nonsense.
Even if it's not for the right reasons, the whole internet saw that GIF of Brock Lesnar punch him in the head.
Right.
So even if you're talking about exposure.
Every single time that anybody sees anything of Braun Strowman, they're like, this guy's awesome. And then watch something of him. And it's just like Roman Reigns sorry, man, you're not that guy.
Yep. The issue of Roman Reigns is, like I said, the exhausting experience of Hulk Hogan and John Cena without seemingly any or more a ton of the traditional outs. Like, Hulk Hogan got to a tiresome point with people, and especially Southern wrestling fans. Like, WWF fans weren't happy about him stealing the moment from Bret Hart and Yokozuna. And then he went down south where they already didn't like those guys from New York, and Hulk Hogan had to take over the South now. They were ready to throw that trash at him. And I'm not even telling you, because I don't even think the average fan is ready to throw trash at Roman Reigns. I don't think Rob hates Roman Reigns.
No.
I don't hate Roman Reigns. I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted by the fact that Hulk Hogan... I thought we were done, and then John Cena came, and then I thought we were done, and now it's Roman Reigns, and we're just never going to be done. When are we done with the templated, you like it whether you like it or not?
The craziest part about all of that is, why did we go back to Hulk Hogan when Austin was the guy that connected most recently with your audience?
Yep. And even John Cena. Even John Cena split the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
This is 70-30 at the average audience at most. We have a very special caller on the line. He's the owner of Wrestling Has a Tomorrow. He has you've heard him right here on the New Age Insiders podcast. We've been to the first 2 What shows. They're awesome, and we're really happy to hear from Jerry. What's going on, bud?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
It's going really well. First of all, What's first 2 shows were terrific. Thank you for giving me the Impact players. Thank you for bringing that back into my life.
My pleasure.
What did you think about Elimination Chamber tonight, pal?
Actually, I really liked it. Just a couple of things I wanted to touch on. So you're talking about why they keep going back to the Hogan archetype.
Yep.
And why not the Austin? That's because Austin is very much the Attitude Era, and it's a very different mindset that they have. You're never going to get rid of Hogan until you get rid of Vince. And you got to kind of just accept that he's doing what he wants to do.
Yep.
It's not that he doesn't care what the fans want. It's that he thinks he knows what's best. And most times he's been right, because when he does listen to the fans, they kind of shit on it and throw it back at him. Just look at like Zack Ryder winning the U.S. title. I think that's the most recent time that he kind of acquiesced to the fans.
Right. And Jerry, believe me, we're not sitting here giving you the whole traditional internet. Vince McMahon is out of touch. What a dinosaur. He doesn't know what his fans want. I'm not telling you that at all. I completely understand why Roman Reigns is going to be a tent pole for this company for the next 10 years. There's talent there. There's size. There's the family connection to The Rock. There's all sorts of... He looks like the guy from Game of Thrones. He looks like Aquaman. He's very
Jason
sellable.
Momoa.
He's crazy sellable. So at no point in this show are you going to hear us say he's untalented and Vince is stupid. Those are easy, dumb internet answers.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just telling you, Jerry, that I thought that this year was the break we had all earned because there were other people that actually felt like real options.
Well, it feels like we got to the point in the story where we've been telling the story of Braveheart the entire time, and the Scottish are finally going to take on the English. And now, out of nowhere, aliens descended and they fight the British. And it's like, how did we get here? You've been telling me this story about how the Scottish are going to beat the British all year.
Yeah.
And now we're just going to have aliens do it?
Yeah, and my crusade is still for Finn Balor, not for Braun Strowman. But Jerry, what did you take away? You're a wrestling promoter. You're an experienced wrestling promoter. What did you think of the show as a whole? Are you excited for WrestleMania? What do you think of the job WWE has done to get us to WrestleMania season? Just kind of your thoughts on what we got going on right now.
I'm always excited when it's WrestleMania season because, you see, I also now in the mindset where I'm not going to get the fan service I understand that it is going to be Roman going into Mania, but I also think that there's a slow, long build, believe it or not, to Braun taking the belt off of Roman. It's not Braun taking it off of Brock, because that's not the victory he needs.
Yep.
They're gonna give it to Roman, but then it's almost to just get the belt onto Braun.
Right, and I agree with that too. And I also think there's great, and Jerry, that's why I keep going back to Finn Balor. I don't think Braun Strowman's the right guy to beat Brock Lesnar, because then we just go from one Ooga Booga monster to another Ooga Booga monster. But again, to me, the answer this year, for the next 6 out of 8 years, I know it's going to be Roman Reigns. But this one felt like one of those where we should take a year off. Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, somebody else. And there was easy stories for Roman Reigns. He keeps hanging out with Seth Rollins, who needs something to do at WrestleMania. They can win the tag team titles. And the average fan like me can go and breathe, because at least Roman Reigns isn't in this. It's one or the other. He's either in the championship match or the closer. One or the other, sometimes both. And I need a break. Not because the guy's not good. He's very good. The matches that we talk about him main eventing are almost always very good. I'm talking to you, Jerry, as a guy that sits in a crowd, and a little boy that watched every WrestleMania end in cheers finally gets to go to WrestleMania as an adult, and I've yet to go to the one that ends in 60,000 people cheering, and I'm not sure I'm going to get it this year either. And that eventually starts really bumming you out. I've got to admit. It gets to you. Yeah. It's exhausting. Jerry, what is coming up in March, right, at Fett Music? You've got Super Crazy, you've got Swoggle, you got JT Dunn, you're bringing in great talent like Christian Casanova. There's always a chance for an ECW moment.
I love the Private Party.
The Private Party are tremendous. Jerry brought Private Party to New England, which is a testament to you in the wrestling business. So, Jerry, what's coming up with what before we let you go?
We got some real good stuff coming up on the 11th. Our big headlining match right now is ACH versus Super Crazy.
Awesome. I love me some Mucho Loco. I've loved Super Crazy. I'm an ECW dork, and so is Jerry. Wrestling Has It Tomorrow.com for tickets. We'll be there. Thanks so much for giving us a call, Jerry. You're welcome here anytime, man.
Thank you so much. Thanks for taking the call.
You got it. 508-202-1624, 508-202-1NAI. We're getting a ton of messages from people saying, "Are you? What's wrong with the phones?" Nothing. We're just a lot of people trying to call. We're going to plow through these calls. We want to take them all. We want to talk to you.
Let me also take a moment to say, go and subscribe to Patreon.com. If you want us to get a phone system with multiple lines,
yep,
that's how you do it.
Patreon.com/New Age Insiders. That's how it gets done, and people are really loving it, and we know that you guys will as well. So before because I know we're going to start talking about the men, and that's going to close the show and all that stuff.
Yeah. The Elimination Chamber with the women is where we left off.
Do you think that there's any chance that so far there's a lot of things that are uncertain, right? And we'll talk about with the men too, because I think there's a chance Braun Strowman gets and makes it a triple threat with Reigns.
The way that this show ended last night, I'm mad and upset and disappointed right now. But I also understand that Brock Lesnar is only going to be so much of this build.
Yep.
And I do understand that the story's not written, because Roman Reigns could challenge Braun Strowman tomorrow for like a winner take all.
Yeah.
Or
Strowman could just get in the match.
So
there's nothing else for him to do right now.
Right,
and if he wins the Andre Battle Royal, I'm going to scream.
Oh, yeah.
But with the women,
yes,
where do you think the direction we're going now? Because obviously we planted that there's tension between Sasha and Bayley.
Yes.
We've planted that Nia Jax is still on a rampage despite her loss. Asuka has not declared who she wants. Bliss is full of confidence and will take on anybody. How's this thing going to unfold in the next 6 weeks?
So the good thing is that I think that we're going, because Ronda Rousey is now cemented in doing whatever with Stephanie Hunter and Angle, or The Rock. But it's because she's cemented in doing with that, then that means she's not going to wrestle for a title. So that means that Asuka is likely going to challenge Bliss, because the tension has been placed over the fall that that's the match that was going to happen. And she'd been ducking. Alexa Bliss has been ducking Asuka for a while, and now she can't duck her no more. And so it's finally going to happen.
What do I do with Nia Jax?
What I do with Nia Jax is the same thing that I do with all of the women that I can't use on SmackDown. Like the rest of the Riot Squad, right? Because I'm going to have the Riot Squad and Becky Lynch and Natalya and they're not going to have anything to do either. I would create
the fabulous Moolah Battle Royal.
Yeah, no, like quite literally something like that. Is I would create something very similar and have them have a Battle Royal as well. This show is forever, and you want to get everybody on it. And unless you're somebody like a Sasha Banks and a Bayley that have a story, I don't need Natalya versus Naomi for no real reason. When I can use Nia Jax to win a Battle Royal that feels on par with the men.
It's not the worst answer you could get by far.
Because I do think that we're going to have Charlotte versus a challenger. Who that challenger is to be determined.
Asuka.
No, and then I think Asuka versus Bliss, and then I think we also have a separate women's match that is Sasha Banks versus Bayley.
I think that Asuka is going to pull. Now that I know that Ronda Rousey's not taking on one of the champions,
right?
I think Asuka's going to pull a fast one, and Nakamura stayed on his show,
so
Asuka's going to pull the fast one and go, I can do whatever I want.
I'm going to go to Charlotte and then have Nia Jax go for Bliss.
Nia Jax finds a way to be the number one contender for Alexa Bliss. Sasha and Bayley have a one-on-one blow-off match, the only one-on-one women's match that's not for a title. Bliss and Bayley, Bliss and Jax are for the women's championship. Asuka sneaks over, faces Charlotte in what should be an awesome, awesome match. And then I don't hate the idea of the fabulous Moolah Invitational, whatever, to do something with these women to get them all on the card. Because we do it for the men, we should do it for the women. That's what equality is. If we give an opportunity to the men, we should give the opportunity to the men.
Well, it's like you look at these cards, and it's like you don't have Chris Jericho this year, right? You had Chris Jericho last year. You don't have Chris Jericho this year. You don't have Dean Ambrose this year.
Right.
You don't have Jason Jordan this year.
But you do have Finn Balor.
But you do have Finn Balor. So, but you're missing a lot of people this year that you had last year. So, yeah, there's enough room on this card for 2 women's titles matches and a I'm mad at you match.
Yeah, right. Especially with people that we care about, like Sasha Banks, who's still very, very, very good. That's what you need to hear. She is. And Bayley, who's awesome.
Because that's the type of thing that I'm looking forward to, or in this next step in equality, is just like Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy wrestled because they didn't like each other.
Exactly.
Right? It wasn't for a title. It wasn't for a championship. And I need the women in the next step in this evolution is to get to the point where I need you to be able to tell me a story that doesn't involve the championship.
Totally agree with you. 508-202-1NAI. 508-202-1624.
Justin in South Carolina gave us a call. What's going on, Justin?
He heard me call him out.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up, Justin? Great to hear from you, man.
Good to hear you guys, too. Well, I came into Elimination Chamber with a lot of questions considering what the card for Mania is going to look like. I thought the Elimination Chamber from the men's match would answer a lot of those questions. It did not, considering Strowman eliminated everybody except for Roman.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of touched on the women's, where you think that direction is going. Where do you think Strowman's going? Where do you think Rollins, The Miz, Balor, where are those guys going? I don't have a clue. We have 5 Raws left, so what are we going to do here?
Justin, you're the man. Thanks so much for giving us a call, buddy. We really appreciate it. We're going to plow through these as we can, but let's answer Justin's question.
The Intercontinental Ladder match is going to be so good.
Okay. Yeah, that's the new 6-man thing, multi-person, but like above the Battle Royal, but below the main event, you get to be in a multi-man Intercontinental title match. What do we do now with Braun Strowman? I still think there's a real good chance that Strowman winds up being in the match with Reigns and Lesnar. I still think the outcome of that match, no matter if we had the Blue Angels, I still think that Roman Reigns. I still think that
they're going to do a flyover.
I don't care who's in this thing. Like right now, Roman Reigns will pin Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
If there's a flood and they have to evacuate the building, Roman Reigns will find a way to pin Brock Lesnar first.
My answer to what we do with Braun Strowman is not The Undertaker versus John Cena, but Braun Strowman versus John Cena.
Okay.
It gives John Cena a high-profile person that he can say. He's always said that the future has to go through him. This guy is the future, right? The back likes him. The back likes him. We like him. So I would like to see Braun Strowman versus John Cena one-on-one.
Okay. I think that Cena and Taker is all but a foregone conclusion. So there's literally, I'm not kidding, now that I think that Angle is booked, I think that Hunter is booked, I think The Rock is off the table, I think that Cena is booked.
Yeah, because
Taker,
if Rock, if he's on the table, he's tagging with Rousey.
Exactly.
He's not doing anything else.
Exactly. So in my mind, Rock's off the table, Angle is booked, Hunter is booked, the big guys that like John Cena and the Undertaker are booked. the most realistic thing to do with Braun Strowman is to insert him, and that's why we did what we did to close the show tonight, is to show, haha, he is not finished with you. Insert him into the main event again. There is nothing in the world. An asteroid couldn't stop Roman Reigns from pinning Brock Lesnar.
Which the worst part about that is that you've told the story the entire year that Braun Strowman has gotten the best of Brock Lesnar with that one blemish, which we shouldn't have done, but with that one blemish, he's been all in multi-man situations where Braun Strowman has proven he's the better man.
Yep.
And then Brock Lesnar finds a way by pinning somebody else.
And I'm not.
And so this WrestleMania needed to be one-on-one with Braun Strowman so that we could prove that Braun Strowman can beat Brock Lesnar. And
it's frustrating, and I'm not telling you it's right or it's wrong. I'm just telling you what it is, and I understand why it's a frustrating thing. What you got to understand is all of it has been a master plan.
Yeah.
We're at, like 320 days or whatever
I know.
of 365. All of it
I know.
has been so Roman Reigns can pin Brock Lesnar. When Brock Lesnar made Samoa Joe look like a megastar, that wasn't for Joe. That was for Roman Reigns.
Oh, I know.
When he and Kane and Strowman did something really fun, when we had that triple threat at, what was it, SummerSlam, or it was SummerSlam?
It was a six-way, wasn't it?
Four-way match,
Four-way.
four corners at SummerSlam. Tonight, everything, this isn't an editorial, this is reporting the news.
Yeah.
It has been for
Fact, not
Roman
opinion.
Reigns. Everything that Brock Lesnar's done is to build up credibility. It's the Elimination Chamber. You think it's about Finn Balor. You think it's about Seth Rollins. You think it's about John Cena. You think it's about Braun Strowman.
It's not.
It's about Roman Reigns getting to beat all these people, eat them and absorb their powers.
Right.
That's what it
Yep.
is. He eats them and he absorbs their powers. 508-202-1624. The lines are rolling. Who we got? We don't.
Oh.
I thought we did.
Oh,
508-202.
yeah, but and you're
1 NAI.
and
There was somebody on the line, and then I guess they're not.
And
that means the line is open.
We totally set this up the night after WrestleMania, and that's what made me the maddest.
Yep.
Is that
And it's all been to get here.
It's all been to get
And
here.
nobody's wanted to hear it, but
here's
it's
the
always
thing.
been true.
We had a call earlier where they talked about how they hope that the steroid thing. They hope that the steroid thing is true, and we have to divert. And I couldn't disagree with that more, because we've gotten to the goal line. We have to at least cross it at this point, right?
Well, here's the thing about that, too. Doesn't that tell you, though, just a really quick footnote on that, doesn't that tell you that if WWE has the inside track on things, which we've known they've done before, a.k.a. diverging the police from arresting Jimmy Snuka for 25 years?
Yeah.
I have a feeling they know that nothing's coming down the pike at least before April 8th. They have to think they know that, or be super convinced.
Right.
They either know he's going to get off the hook, or they're convinced that it won't happen until after the show.
Yeah, but I hope that you have to cross the finish line. We've gotten this far. We've gotten to the goal line. You have to do it now.
Oh yeah, you're right.
You have to, because that's going to infuriate me even more. Where it's like,
it's John Cena's 17th title. We're doing it, everybody.
Right,
it's going to happen.
And the blame goes squarely. If it changes, the blame goes squarely on Roman Reigns, and then I would actively campaign for his release. I'm not doing it now.
Right, I know. But I know it's a knee-jerk thing for some people, and give it time. And Rob, I love you. Get your Mania tickets. Go to New Orleans. We want to meet you. We want to see you. We really want to. It'll be worth it. It's also going to be an 11-hour show. There'll be lots of things other than Roman Reigns to be happy about. But you got to hear, Danny, when Roman Reigns won, was so mad that she's like, I'm not sure I want to go to New Orleans anymore.
Right.
And she's going to go, but her instinct to be like, this is ruining it for me.
Right.
And Rob, on the fence, and Roman Reigns decided, no. Now, if I'm Vince McMahon and all, do I know that I'm going to sell Rob's seat to Rob or to some other guy, but the seat's going to sell? Yeah. But why do you keep filling the seats with the people that are either going to show up and bitch, or the people that might, like, when does Rob get his seat to the show he wants to go to?
Well, especially when the options, and this is like my Super Bowl thing, right? You put Malcolm Butler in the game because you needed one stop, right? Anybody else in that match, everybody been okay with.
Finn Balor. 508-202-1624. 508-202-1624. Who we got?
Dan in New Jersey gave us a call. What's up, Dan?
Yo, guys, what's happening?
Danny, I love you. How you feeling? How you doing?
I am tired. I'm hungover. I had a bachelor party. I was up in your neck in Maine this weekend.
Yeah, I know.
And
shame on you. You should have stopped by.
Yeah, you should have, Danny. You're always welcome here.
Yeah, I tried to. The car was not having it, but I'll be back in June, so let's figure it out.
All right. Okay. What'd you think of the chamber?
It was going great, and then what happened was what everyone thought was going to happen, and Braun's eliminating guys left and right, and I got my hopes all the way up, even though I knew who was going to lose, knew he was going to lose, and it's just a punch to the stomach, man. I'm tired of it. You can give me all the crap you want about, he lost all year, it's his fourth main event in a row. It's insane.
Yep.
I don't get it. I don't get it. And if you think anyone but him is closing the show, you're nuts.
That's the frustrating part.
Even Undertaker and Cena, Danny, real quick. Even Taker and Cena, if that happens.
Nope. Cena or Reigns closes, guarantee it.
Okay.
The issue that I have, and I would love, and C. Scott brings this up, is that look, Roman Reigns can beat Brock Lesnar for the Universal title. Just don't go on last.
That would help a lot.
Just don't go on last.
And the thing is, and I understand that there's merit, that there's two matches that really, really might. I don't think the Rousey one does. But there's two.
The Rock's not involved.
Right. But there's two, right, because you know me. I've always said it would have been The Rock that got to main event.
Yeah, The Rock goes on last.
Right. But I think that there's a real, honest-to-God chance that the AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura goes on last. In theory, we are supposed to care about the WWE title more than the Universal one, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
And then the one that I would actually disagree with Danny is the only one that really, really might is Cena versus Undertaker. Because if this is an actual announced retirement match and Cena retires the Undertaker, then it has to close.
Then it will, yes.
Because, and again...
We have to get up to cry again.
And then again, the only thing we all stood up and clapped and cried for last year was the jacket.
Yeah.
We all 50,000 of us in Orlando stood up and cried and clapped.
Oh, I'm booing.
Because there's no more, he's not going to wear that hat anymore.
I will tell you, I will let the internet know and mark the record, Bill, mark the tape so we can bring this up. I will actively boo The Undertaker if we do a retirement match in which he loses to officially retire.
Right.
I'm going to boo.
Brett Favre.
Yeah.
I don't care about your third retirement. I thought you were done at Brock Lesnar, big guy. I thought Vince looked at you and said you're done, and that's why we did it. And I thought Brock rang your bell so hard you should walk away.
Yeah.
And then... but then I got back up for it. And then last year, we all stood up and clapped and cried, and you kissed Kelly, and that was that.
Michelle McCool.
I don't flipping know. Whichever
Your
one,
wife.
whichever blonde from the dead zone of this company's history that you married. And now I come to find that you're going to wrestle John Cena again, and the only thing that we stood and clapped and cried for were your gloves.
Yeah.
That's so lame.
Right.
I am not looking forward to the and you're like, well, you really want the Undertaker's last match to be that thing with Roman Reigns? No, but
I just
but
want
so
it to be over.
But so be it.
You know what Brett Favre's actual last match was? Last game was, I'm pretty sure, him throwing that interception.
I think he blew
in the
NFC
Championship
game. I think he blew the NFC title game was his last one.
Right?
And it's like,
so yeah, would Brett Favre like to do it over?
Yeah,
sure.
Maybe you don't got it in you anymore, gunslinger. Maybe maybe is last year's match was terrible, and Roman Reigns can take care of guys. Couldn't with you, and now the big reason I'm reading online that it'll be better this year is because he has a new hip.
Yeah.
Are you for real?
Right.
We are at the point now where we have to be like, well, The Undertaker did get hip replacement.
Yeah.
Let's give the new hip a try. It's over.
Yeah, sorry,
and
man.
I gotta tell you, I feel a little cheated that I stood and clapped and cried for your hat.
Yep. No, like I said, I'm actively going to boo.
Honest
I will
to God.
actively boo the Undertaker.
Honest to God, it's a little. It's actually now it leaves the. It ruins that thing. You know what I mean? It's like if a girl cheats on you, and now even the memories aren't special.
Right.
We're getting there.
Yeah, we are.
We're getting there. We got one last call.
This is it.
That we're going to take before we wrap
Here's the
things
deal.
up. There's
Whoever-
also a poll on Twitter. We like to keep you posted on that you can vote. It's going to be up for days. With 361 votes and counting, it's only been up for like an hour. You can be part of it on Twitter too. Right now, the average fan, not average, 45% of the crowd would give it a B, 15% of an A, which means 60% of the audience would give it an A or a B. That's not bad.
So, for whoever this call is, if they're listening, right? Are they able to listen? Okay, so you're the last call. So I need you to do something special for me. It's Bill's birthday.
Happy birthday, Bill.
I need you to sing a little bit of happy birthday to Bill Neville before you ask your question.
I've been told by this person that it is a happy call. It's Nick in New Jersey. What's going on, buddy?
Nick, you have to sing. Start. Go.
Oh, my God. Well, if you guys don't know this, I actually went to a performing arts school in high school because I could sing. So I guess I'm on the line right now.
Oh,
so here we go.
you're stuck.
You only put the pressure
Ready?
on yourself, pal. Go for it.
No, well, happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you.
Beautiful.
Happy birthday, dear Bill. Happy birthday to you.
That was great.
And
Thank you.
many more.
Happy birthday from all of us to you.
Happy
It's not
birthday.
Bill's
We
birthday
stole the
anymore,
roof.
though. It's technically not Bill's birthday.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Shut up. The moment's over. Nick, what'd you think of Elimination Chamber?
Anyway, happy birthday, Bill.
Thanks, buddy.
I like the pay-per-view tonight. I explained it in the chat. This match was planned a year ago. I accepted it 6 months ago. And I think I want to look at this more from a positive perspective. I think this WrestleMania is going to be so much better than a lot of Manias that we've seen in the past few years. I mean, the Roman Brock main event will be a good match. We're getting AJ and Nakamura, and 8 months ago we thought we were getting Jinder and Cena. So that's a positive.
That's fair.
We're going to get 3 or 4 women's matches, one of them being Asuka and Charlotte. How much better can they get? I just see so much positivity in this WrestleMania, and look, I'm on the side with you, Jay, where I'm not the biggest Roman fan, but I don't hate the guy. I see the stardom in him. I see why he's special. Would I have picked him to main event this Mania? No, I would have gone for a Finn Balor story. I would have gone for a Braun story. But I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to say it's going to ruin my night or anything. And I think that there's so much clouded negativity right now. And I think there's a lot of, I think there's so much worse that we could have gotten. And we should be grateful for what we are going to get and the fun that we're going to have in about 40 days.
Nick, I mean this sincerely. Thank you for calling, and that was the perfect last call for this show, and I mean that. Yeah. So thank you for giving us a shout. We're going to talk about it. We're going to let you go because it's time to wrap things up. But first of all, thanks for calling. You know we love you by now, and that's the perfect last call for this show. So
bring your
thanks so
jacket
much.
to WrestleMania.
So thanks so much, pal. All right, so let's talk about it.
Yeah,
'Cause Nick
he's right.
Is right.
He's right.
And in our defense, I at no point on the air or off the air did I tell you that, oh, man, thanks, Roman. You just ruined an all-time WrestleMania for me. No, come on.
No.
To Nick's point, don't be an idiot. If you're going to be a reasonable fan, you knew this was coming.
Yep.
I said this was coming in the pre-show. I said this was coming in the last pre-show, and the last pre-show, and the last pre-show, because we've all known. So at the very least, this can't be a surprise.
Yeah.
You've had time to prepare for the tragedy, whatever. It is going to be a good wrestling match.
It is.
If you open your eyes and don't go in it judgmentally, it might be one of the best matches on the card. And to Nick's point, it's going to be one of, a 5-hour event. It's going to be one match of probably 10 to 12, 13 things we do, including the pre-show. And it's one part. That match is going to get 20 minutes, guys.
Yeah.
And it's going to be 20 minutes of a 5-hour experience. We are getting Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles. We are getting some great women's wrestling right now. The Bar are doing great things. The Usos are doing great things. The Miz is probably going to have a great match. Whatever
The New Day's fun.
Whatever the hell Bobby Roode's doing will probably be entertaining. There's
Dolph Ziggler's going to lose.
No one is sad about the rest of the card.
You get to watch Dolph Ziggler lose live, and it's going to be great. And if Roman Reigns ruins that for you, you're overdoing it.
Yeah.
You've now got to a visceral point with Roman Reigns that you're letting yourself not enjoy a very special period in this company's history. Because that's what it is. It's the best roster they've ever assembled. It's the best time to be a fan over the last decade at least. And I'm not telling you it's better than Attitude, even though it probably is, because Attitude's painfully overrated. The era that I go to over and over again is Ruthless Aggression. I don't think WWE has ever been as balanced as they were during Ruthless Aggression.
The first brand split.
The stories were a little edgy, but you could still get away with TV 14, which is all this show needs to be, by the way, is TV 14. The stories were edgy. The roster was great. Guerrero and Benoit and Jericho and Angle and Hunter and Goldberg and Brock.
Batista and Orton and Cena.
And
The Undertaker.
We were at the end of Austin and The Rock, and we could still use them. And Shawn Michaels came back. You know what I mean? And then so the roster was slammed with talent. And the stories were great. And I just think it was a very balanced time from about 2001 to 2004. I thought they were an incredibly balanced product. And that's what they have the opportunity to be here. The storytelling's not keeping up with the match quality. But that just means we're getting some of the best wrestling in this company's history. That's pretty cool, too. To Nick's point, there's a lot to look forward to in New Orleans. I'm excited to go. Roman Reigns isn't going to ruin this thing for me. Roman Reigns isn't even going to put on a bad match.
No, you know who would ruin this match?
I just wish that Ryback.
Yeah, no, the person that would ruin this thing is if The Undertaker wrestles.
Yeah, well, he will.
It's going to ruin.
He will. And John Cena's going to retire, and then we're going to cry again.
I'm not. I refuse. I'm going to boo.
And this time we're going to clap for the robe because the hat and the jacket are dead.
Yeah, it's going to be that weird robe and hood.
Yep, the hat and the jacket died.
Yeah, so
in
the
Orlando.
Robe, it's the robe and the hood.
Now the robe
and the hood
and the wig, maybe.
The wig,
maybe we say goodbye to the wig.
Yeah, right.
Fun stuff. Like
he's an old man.
The Undertaker is like from everything that everybody said about everything ever is the ultimate team player, the ultimate employee. If I'm Vince McMahon, it can be like, will you just stop cutting your damn hair until it's over? Why do you keep doing this to me?
Well, I feel like
you go to WrestleMania and then you shave your head. Stop it.
I also feel like he's going the other way. I feel like he keeps wanting to walk away, and Vince keeps being like, "I need you, pal."
Yeah. Well, whoever's doing it is wrong at this phase of the game. Vote on the poll. It's up on our Twitter at New Age Insiders. It's going to be up for days. We definitely always want to get your feedback on these things. We do these polls for a reason because people from literally all around the world add their feedback to them, and we want you to be one of those people. Yeah. Thank you to all the calls. We eventually had to get to a point where we just told the phone enough. So thank you for jamming the lines.
Phone enough.
That's awesome. If you're watching on Twitch, welcome. Come on back Wednesday night live at 8 o'clock. What we've got going on, we're live every Wednesday night on NewAgeInsiders.com and on twitch.tv/NewAgeInsidersPop. We do these pay-per-view
Hit the subscribe button if you are a member of Amazon Prime. You can subscribe for free.
Exactly.
With Twitch Prime, so go ahead and do that. It goes a long way.
We're live before and after all of these WWE pay-per-views and taking your calls. Jump in, be part of the experience. If you want to fully jump in, go to patreon.com/NewAgeInsiders. 5 exclusive shows a month you can only hear if you're a Patreon, including one.
Only $10 a month.
Exactly. It's only $10 a month. We are right in line with all these other subscription services. People have been DMing us, and we've screenshotted them saying, this is the best Patreon I subscribe to. You guys never let me down. When you say you're going to post something, you post it. I'm having a blast. We've never got somebody who jumped in and then unsubscribed because they didn't think they were getting anything out of it. You can be one of those people. Patreon.com/NewAgeInsiders. Make sure you check out everything we have going on over on YouTube. That's our next big, great venture in this world.
Right.
You can also see the guys from the Rant with Ant with the Rapid Rant on our YouTube page. They're also a big part of New Age Insiders Pop, where we bring you the world of pop culture, entertainment, all things, including wrestling, but not limited to wrestling. Our show is Be Nerd. If you liked hearing the three of us, want to hear our opinions on the Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles, comic books, current movies, nostalgia, that's Be Nerd on New Age Insiders Pop as well.
Mike went from that movie show, which is on New Age Insiders Pop, called earlier today.
He did. We love Mike.
New episode drops tomorrow, Monday. It's
2
already
hours.
up.
You can also
2
hear
hours.
For the Pops with Jamie Jimikowski and Scotty Slade. That movie show, of course, Late Night Liam. Songs for the Moment is available there. We have the NAI Wrestling Network. Make sure that you follow the new NewAgeInsiders.com coming in March. where DC and Doc are going to be spotlit. Salty Chips is a new show that we think you guys are going to absolutely love.
I mean, I haven't heard it yet, so I don't even know if I like it.
It's
yet.
very good. It is good.
I imagine there's a lot of
stride.
I also imagine there's a lot of slide whistle on that show.
They found their stride.
You know?
Matt McCool is bringing you the 3 count. That's just around the corner. Thank you so much for joining us. Come back on Wednesday. If you liked it, we're here every single week. Also, make sure you follow us online. We're all over Facebook, Instagram, anything that you guys are on.
Yeah,
I bet
search
we are.
New Age Insiders.
I bet we are too. My name's Jason Malta.
I am Liam Schrager.
And I'm Bill Neville.
We're the New Age Insiders. You can find us on Twitter as well. And please do at New Age Insiders, at Liam NAI, at Bill Neville. NAI, the website gets revamped and becomes a daily destination, newageinsiders.com. That's on March 15th. We are the 2018 Wrestling Radio Awards live show of the year, because altogether we're the premier place for wrestling fans to connect, discuss, and to be heard.
We out.